What's up, y'all? It's your host, Mike the Young OG, for another episode of the Rapper Cap Podcast. We are back with another episode of the 5 love languages. Love this series, man. If y'all ain't read the book, like I said, don't just take the test. Go back and really go read the book and see like how powerful it is, and really get like the breakdown on each love language, so you can see like, all right, maybe this might not be my love language, or maybe my love language has changed, or maybe I just had a misconception of one. Because the test definitely puts it in perspective, but the book brings it full circle. So y'all know the second one that we're gonna hit on today is gonna be quality time. So this one, I just, to me personally, I feel like this is probably the most important of all the love languages, and it's the most like intimate, because it requires you not to have to say anything specific or do anything specifically to like affirm that person that you love them. It's more so of you giving up your time, which is the most invaluable thing in the world. So you're giving up your time to be with somebody else. You're giving up time you could be spending doing something else, time that you can't get back. Like once it's gone, it's gone. It's not like it's not like money where you can just spend something and then go make it back doing whatever. Like you don't get time back. So with that being said, we have to just remember, when it comes to the love languages, that one medicine can't cure all diseases. So, and he specifically said that in the book. So you just have to realize that, okay, yeah, like your love language might be quality time, and it is necessary, and to me it is the most important, because you can't even do all the other ones without quality time. If you're not spending time together, how can I give you words of affirmation? How can I give you gifts? How can I touch you? Like all, like just those aspects of it, for me, it just brings it full circle. But one medicine can't cure all diseases. So you have to realize that, yes, that might be your love language, that might be the most important love language to you, but at the end of the day, their primary is their primary. So if they feel more loved and secured through quality time, or if it's words of affirmation, or if it's acts of service, then that's the love language you need to speak to them. That's the primary way you need to speak to them. You speak to them in your love language. You really ideally want to give everybody all 5 and let them experience it, and it brings it full circle. Because a lot of people nowadays, you'll have people that are like, oh no, like I'm not crazy about gifts, but they've never been in the position to receive. They've always been the giver, or they've never been in the position to really enjoy it without it being a string attached or something like that, or they just never been in that type of relationship. They're like, no, like it's me or whatever. They never had anybody spoil them or bring them anything like a thinking about you gift. Like they've never really had that consistently. So you showing them that, or showing that it can be done, they might not end up being like, yo, this is my primary, this is the one I love now. But it allows them the opportunity, and it gives them the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, like this does exist. It doesn't like take the notion out of, no, like I don't care about the other ones, because those are, those aren't really important, because they've never been stressed as important to them. So to me, quality time, just it feels more intimate, because like I said, the timepiece, like you giving someone your undivided attention, and you're just fully in that moment, is priceless to me. Like you can't get that. You can't go anywhere else and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna just go get somebody time. Like everybody's not gonna give you their time. You're not worth everyone's time, and everyone's not worth your time. And that's something that you have to, when you get, as you get older, as we get older, that you have to understand that everybody's time is precious. Everybody values their time for the most part. So when somebody gives you their time, they're giving you something that they can't give back. They're giving you an invaluable gift. So in that aspect, you have to take it for what it really is, and you have to enjoy it, and you have to accept that, and you have to not take that for granted. So I think that's another level of intimacy that you have to reach within quality time. Like it's a never ending, like ascending thing to learn. It's like, wow, like every single time you give me your time, I have to really be conscious that this is your time that you're giving to me. So let me not squander that with petty things, or let me not squander that by doing other things that, take away from that quality time, or lessen the amount of focus and attention that you guys have on each other. So I think when it comes to quality time, it's more so giving your undivided attention to somebody. That's what I got from reading. Your undivided attention, so you're not scrolling on your phone and, cooking at the same time. But, like, not to say that's not still quality time, because, you can be sitting in the kitchen cooking with your significant other, and you sitting at the island, and, what I'm saying, you on the laptop and y'all talking, like, in between. But it's nothing like undivided attention. Like when you guys get to have that face to face time where you guys just sitting, like, yeah, there's no other distractions. If you have kids, like the kids asleep, or the kids at daycare, or the kids with their like grandparents or with their godparents, like where you guys just get that one-on-one time to like sit down or go out and do something. Like, and a lot of people would downplay what I'm about to say, but like it's not even about the amount of money that you spend. It's not about the places that you go. It's more so just about the fact that we're committing time to one another. So like, what I'm saying? Like, if I don't me personally, I don't define quality time as watching movies together. But if that's your thing, like that's still a form of quality time. Like you guys spending movies together. Or watching movies together. All right, cool. A picnic, like a picnic. Like a lot of people be like, nah, that's corny. Like, nah, it's not. Like, go fix y'all sandwiches, get you a little picnic basket, or get y'all a little tote bag, whatever. Go out there, put a blanket down, chill, enjoy the air. Like, wait on a nice cool day, or go early in the morning, or go later at night, before it gets too dark, and y'all just sit there, relax, and like soak everything in. Of course, what I'm saying, it's better to go in the morning time because you don't want the mosquitoes to get you, but just separating that time, like going on a walk, like going to lunch, brunch, whatever y'all like to do, like stuff like that. It's just a matter of y'all actually doing something together, and you guys having that undivided attention, and both of y'all are not at the dinner table like scrolling, or y'all both not on the couch scrolling, like, oh yeah, you're here, but you're not here. You know what I'm saying? So you're present, but you're not here, and so it's just that time that you can't get back, and it's like that time that you've sown into each other's lives that you'll never get back. That the time that I'm spending right now here talking to you, I will never get this time back. But I'm sowing this time in to y'all, to myself, to my brand, and knowing that it will be valuable either right now or later on. But just having that mindset of, yeah, like this is a seed. My time is a seed. So I'm going to sow this time into whoever. I'm going to sow this time into such and such. Like it's just a matter of you having that acknowledgement and knowing like, yeah, like this is something that I'm freely giving. And so since we're both freely giving this, we should take advantage of it and use it, and not just disrespect each other and waste the time by doing things that, detract from our intimacy. Because we got to remember, like, I don't speak for married people. So you got to remember that it's a relationship. Boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Entanglement, whatever. It's a relationship. So you have to continue to build that. It's not something that you can just get into. Like, people often get confused by the honeymoon stage because they're like, why change all of a sudden? Because you're entering into new levels of each other. So as you enter in new levels of each other, it requires new understanding of one another. So you can't just be like, okay, like it's gonna be like this forever. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like women go through different things, men go through different things happen in our lives that we can't see coming and that we can't account for, or that we don't even know is there. So you always have to be mindful that relationships are evolving, they're revolving. Like you have to understand that, like, all right, cool, like I cannot fall in love with the version of this person. I cannot fall in love with what this person can do for me. I cannot fall in love with the time that we are in right now, the space that we are in right now, because it's liable to change, because everything comes in seasons and everything comes full circle. So if you're still there and the relationship has moved or it's elevated and you're still here because you enjoy the euphoric feeling of it, you'll never be able to ascend and keep going, because you'll think this right here is better than this because this feels better than this, but this is going to get you to this, and that'll make you feel better than this. So it's like you think right here at this level, you're like, oh, this is as good as it's gonna get. This is the best version of somebody. But after you get healing, after you get, if you go to therapy, if you just going through life with one another, like it gets better. You just have to sow your time and actually have to do the work, which is a whole nother podcast, like of doing work during relationships. But to me, that's really what I got out of there. And you don't get to um continue to make eye contact, not multitask, listen for feelings, look at body language, and refuse to interrupt people, like, or your with your significant other, without like that daily sharing. Like if you're in a relationship, y'all should daily share. Like a lot of people, we as Americans, we get into this habit of, oh yeah, it was, yeah, it was a good day, or how you doing? We don't really care how you're doing. It's just polite, and it's the natural thing to say, like, hey, how you doing? Like, keep it pushing. I'm not waiting to hear how you're doing. Like, or you say good, good. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, whatever. Like it varies with answers. It's like saying what's up. Like, okay, what's up? Wait, what's up? I can say anything back to what's up. Nothing much. You like it. There's no real conversation there. There's no real weight to what you're talking about. So with the daily sharing, it allows you, even if it's for a brief 5 minutes, like you guys giving each other that undivided attention for that day. Like, all right, let me put my phone on for 5 minutes. Let me stop right now for 5 minutes. So you had a good day. I'm like, oh, did anything interesting happen? Whatever that conversation entails, it's just dedicating that 5 minutes to knowing, like, oh yeah, like, all right, I'm locked in on you. This 5 minutes, I might only got 5 minutes. You might only have 5 minutes because I'm about to cook and you about to take care of the kids, or she about to cook and he about to take care of the kids. But you gonna get this 5 minutes of my undivided attention, and you gonna feel that I care, and we gonna have this emotional connection before we go off and do what we gotta do. Cause oftentimes we as humans, and we just as emotional creatures, we get so caught up in how much time it is, or having a designated amount of time, when really we not gonna always have that designated amount of time. And then we always look back and we're like, dang, like we ain't go do this, or we ain't go do that, or we were supposed to do this, like, or like this such and such and such is our day, is our time, whatever. It's just about being in that moment though, like slowing down and being like, hold on, I just got home. Let me lock in. Or I just came over. Like, let me lock in real quick. Or just having whatever y'all dynamic is, just being up like, all right, like, let me finish this, whatever. Or, I just need time to wind down. Let me just, you know what I'm saying? By having those conversations and allowing the other person to get whatever they need so they can log in. Or let me eat first. Like letting them lock in, and then being able to zero in on what each other is doing, and what is going on with the other person for that moment is powerful, because you're never going to get that 5 minutes back. And that 5 minutes could be, for somebody with a primary, that 5 minutes could be the affirmation for their whole day. You ain't got to do nothing else. You can go y'all can have that 5 minutes, y'all can have that 10 minutes, 20, whatever it is. Y'all can have that time. Y'all both shower, like go home, get into bed, y'all sleep. And she or he is good for the rest of the night. Strictly off of that time that you dedicated to them, and they felt seen and they felt heard. So they were able to release you. Even if they did want more time, they were able to release you because they know you gave them your best, and you gave them the first fruits of the time that you had to yourself with them. And that's really all that it is. Like giving each other our first fruits of our undivided attention whenever it's time for that. After you factor everything else in for your day, like you having your significant other, you having a best friend, like they just want to know through quality time, like, okay, you see me and you hear me, like you're spending time with me, you're coming over, we're meeting here, we're doing this. I just need to feel like you see me and like I'm loved in the time that you spend with me. And that's really what it's all about with all the love languages. It's just through different things. So people with this primary, just they'll lose interest, and they'll shun you really quick. if time isn't really being spent. There's a lot of people who we spend time together and immediately it goes to something. All right, cool. I'm gonna come over. We're gonna watch Netflix. All right, cool. I'm gonna come over. We're gonna have sex. All right, cool. We can go out to eat and then we go home or whatever. Like nah, like that time, like, and a lot of people will be like, it's not the fact that they're here. It's not the fact that, you know what I'm saying, we're doing something. It's the fact that they're just here. Just cap. Because yeah, you might feel secure because that person is there, but deep down you know there's something missing. There's not a, or you don't know there's something's missing, which is a problem in itself too. There's no real bond being created. There's no real intimacy being cultivated and grown with you just both being there sitting on the couch on your phone. And that has a time and place for it. But if that's the majority of your relationship, then you have a problem, because that's not gonna grow and that's not gonna help you in your next season of relationship. If the end goal is marriage, the end goal is marriage. That's not gonna help you. If the end goal is we just out here vibing, living your life, okay, cool. Go ahead, waste your time some more with somebody who you're gonna grow to resent and eventually be like, well, my significant other doesn't talk to me. Like, we don't talk about that. Yeah, they don't talk to me. I don't know what's going on. Like, who wants to be with somebody who they have no idea about? Because people often say, oh, I woke up and that person was a new person the next day. They were never a new person. You just didn't notice the transition. You didn't see the change. Y'all weren't spending that time together to really see like that they're transitioning. Something's going on. Something in them has changed. Something in them has evolved. And you will miss that when you just caught up on the physical or just the surface level stuff. Like, oh, okay, I'm just focused on what we doing, where we at. All right, cool. You good? You need anything? Like, no. Like, people with this primary, they need you to invest and sow that time into them. They need that affirmation, which is all that the love languages is, affirmation in different ways. They need to know that I'm being affirmed through you giving me your undivided attention. And we miss opportunities and we miss time because we're not in that moment. So it all falls down to being in that moment. Like, you missing opportunities to be able to speak on something that you wanted, that you thought was a problem, or that you noticed about the other person, because you're not in that moment. So then when y'all argue, it's just like, well, you do this, you do that. And it's like, dang, like, well, why you ain't tell me that when we was good? Because we're not in the moment. We're not furthering that intimacy with one another. So I can't see that when it's in plain in sight. When you're talking to me on a day-to-day basis, I can't see it because we're not in touch with each other in that way. We're not spending that quality time that allows me to be 100% vulnerable with you and you to be 100% vulnerable with me, in a space to where nothing else is a distraction, nothing else is in the way, where I have your undivided attention. We're both just doing stuff, so we're missing key parts about each other, and it's just like, dang, like, what happened? What went wrong? So for people of quality time, it is a security thing of being with another person in general, whether it's doing something, whether it's talking, whatever it is, it's just that security. And it's about the experience and the things that you'll never get back. You experience so much with somebody when you have quality time with them, just by going to do things, by like coming over, hanging out. Like, you learn more and more about each other, and you build memories with each other, like, that you're never gonna forget because you're locked in on that moment. We always remember that's why it's called moments in history, moments in sports. Like, we will never forget seeing LeBron James block Iguodala in the finals. Like, we will never forget seeing KD pull up in LeBron's face. Like, we will never forget Ray Allen's three. We will never forget Robert Ory's three to put them over the Sacramento Kings. And possibly save the series from the Lakers getting beat by the Kings. Like we will never forget certain moments. Like we'll never forget Tom Brady under a minute, like with a minute left, going and scoring a touchdown. Like we you don't forget those type of things because they're entrenched in your mind because you were invested in that TV. You were invested in that moment that you saw and were able to experience and have that raw emotion of what was happening at that time. And it was just like, dang, like you weren't expecting it, and you would have never put that on there. You might be like, yeah, ain't no way they're gonna lose. Like he still got time left, but the manner in which it manifests is what matters. The manner in which the time that you guys spend manifests itself and evolves through that time is really what matters. That's really what you're looking forward to, is that seed that's being planted. What will manifest from it in the future? Like, what is this time that I'm sowing in right now gonna manifest into later? Like, is it gonna be that, oh yeah, like I go to school and I remember this. Like I was watching that game and I can dialogue back. I can tell you what time on the clock there was, like blah 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 blah. You being able to engage and have that memory. Other people like, yeah, I saw the highlights. It's not the same because yeah, you might remember the highlights, but it's different. Like people from 9/11, like if you were a kid in kindergarten, like you remember your parents picking you up, all that. Like people who remember that when it happened, like that's like, oh, I remember that. I might not know what was going on, but I remember how serious that was. Like, and other people are like, nah, I don't really remember. It might still be a big deal to them, but it's different. Like that memory is not like entrenched in their mind. Shout out to Capri Sun. But it's just about the time, man. Quality time is really just about experiencing one another when y'all both are in an undivided attention. Like y'all are in a space where it's undivided attention. I'm sowing my time. You sowing your time into me. And any time that you're spending time with people, you know sacrifice is gonna come. You know sacrifice is gonna come. It's not always quality time is not always doing things that you want to do. It's not all about, okay, like we're so Saturday we gonna get up after I wash the car, we gonna go hoop. Like me and you, like let's go shoot some hoops. Like your girl might not even be a hooper. Or if you're a girl, your man might not even be a hooper. Like that's not something they might partake in doing. But it's about you guys spending the time. It's not about the what, it's about the why. So it's about why you're spending this time together, because I want to feel closer to you. So it's about like, all right, cool. Your dude might be into golf and you're not into golf, but you go to Top Golf, you go to the golf course, whatever it is, because you want to feel closer to them doing what they enjoy doing. And them seeing you make that sacrifice and them seeing you choose to spend that time with them doing something that they like to do, at the end of the day, makes them feel appreciated, makes them feel seen, and makes them feel like you love them, because it's like, okay, cool. Like, I know you don't want to do this. I know you don't like to do this, but for me, you'll do it. It's about the why. And he talked about the essential ingredients of this, and it's just at least one of y'all wants to do it, the other is willing, and both of you know why you're doing it. So like I said, it's about the why. If you're doing it just to appease the other person in a patronizing or condescending type way, then it's pointless, and you guys were never going to really fix anything because your heart's not in it. When your heart is in it, it changes everything. Because it's like, oh, okay, cool. You did this for me. Acknowledging the fact that, okay, cool, like, I know for a fact that you're doing this because you care about me. I know that because I know you don't like to do this. I know this is not your interest, but you're doing this for me so that we can spend time together. So it means getting off the game and going in. If you got kids, Like, you know, going to spend time with the kids together. Like, y'all going to do a group activity together. A lot of people be like, well, that's more for the kids. No, it's for you. It's for y'all too. It's for y'all to actually bond and stay together, like, and keep that healthy dynamic. If you have kids, like, keep that healthy dynamic with the kids so they can see, like, oh yeah, mommy and daddy like each other, or it's not like me and mommy over here and then, or me and daddy over here. Like, you can see that healthy balance and everything comes together like this. When y'all are not like this, relationships with kids get difficult. Like, and I don't even have kids, but just seeing that and experiencing that with other people, you can clearly tell, like, yeah, something's going on. Like, they're not on the same page, and kids feel that too, and they notice that too. Like, yeah, something going on, mommy and daddy. Like, I don't know what it is, but something going on, mommy and daddy. So you just understanding that the why is always to in I don't even know if that's a word, deepen the emotional relationship and the intimacy that I have with this person. That is always the why. The what doesn't necessarily matter. I'm gonna get some. It's gonna be some times where I don't like it, she doesn't like it, where we both like it. Like, it'll be those times, or it's something that we both don't like, but it's like, all right, we ain't tried this before. Like, let's try something new. Why? To get that experience with each other together, to build that. And it doesn't always have to be something that you don't want to do or that you do want to do. It just, like I said, them ingredients. One person willing, one person likes it, but both people know the why. That's really all that matters. Like, but sacrifice is something that you're always going to have to make. But specifically with quality time, that's what people look for. Like, are you willing to take that next step with me quality time wise? Because, yeah, you can come over, we can watch a movie, we can sleep together, we can take a nap together. But are you real? Like, how invested in me are you? Are you that invested in somebody to where you will sacrifice not only your time, but your will, what you want to do, so that the relationship can be like this, so the other person can fulfill the other person can feel fulfilled. So it's like, it's a double win. I win because my relationship is thriving, and the other person win because they feel love, because that's their primary. So we we have to really understand that togetherness is the goal. If we were supposed to be alone, oh, you wouldn't see people married. If we were supposed to be alone, we wouldn't be in a relationship. Togetherness is always the goal. You always want to see each other win and create and strengthen and mold the bond that you have created. Like, just to deepen it even more and more and more and more. Cultivating is such a beautiful process, but you have to be able and willing and committed to doing it. Like, the first step is sacrifice. Like, you have to, you're sacrificing your time first and foremost. You're sacrificing your time. So double down on that and sacrifice your will. That is a form of humility. Doing something that you don't want to do because you know the other person needs it, or you know that it would make the other person feel loved. That is a form of humility. You not doing it is an act of pride. And nobody wants to be with anybody who's prideful. So that falls into the category of, like, well, why don't they feel loved anymore? It's not an overnight thing. Like I said, people don't just wake up a new person. Like, you might have seen it because people often brush it off like, oh no, it's fine. Like, okay, I get it. Yeah, I understand you're busy, or yeah, I get it. Like, you're tired, whatever it is. But, like, eventually it turns into, like, resentment. Like, you don't even love me. You're here because it's convenient for you, because you haven't even tried to spend time with me. And people will be like, well, yeah, I was just here yesterday. Yeah, but we didn't do anything. You didn't spend time. You were present yesterday, but we didn't spend time yesterday. We didn't spend quality time yesterday. There was a time where we both were in the same room for a couple hours. That's the way people with quality time see it as. And it's often the lack of expression that people are looking at. It's not the fact that you try and you fail. It's the act and the expression of it. Like, I'm trying to spend time with you. I might not know what I'm doing. I might not know what I'm saying, but I'm trying to spend time with you, no doubt. So, and a lot of people, like I said, man, y'all stop walking around here like, oh yeah, late night conversations in the car. That's my love language. Food. That's my love language. No, it's not. It's still quality time. A dialect of quality time is quality conversation. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, like, I don't do small talk, so like, that's why I don't really talk to people, or that's why I'm not talking. Like, and what they really mean about that is people's form of small talk is just like, yeah, like, how's everything going? You know, everything cool? Okay, cool. How's the family? Like, just, surface level conversation people don't want to have. Quality conversation comes with sharing your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your desires, your wants, your needs, like, all, like, what are we really talking about? And it doesn't have to be some sap stuff. Like, a lot of people are like, man, I ain't trying to talk about my feelings, like, mainly the guys, but it's like, nah, like, all right, cool. Like, what are some of your aspirations, or how close are you to feeling like you can take that next step in your brand, or where are you in school? Like, do you feel like you want to go back to your masters, or do you want to get another bachelor's in something, or like, just having those conversations to where they're not surface level, like, we're actually talking about something meaningful that will impact both of our lives, or that we're both remember. And a lot of people just get that confused with, oh yeah, like, we chopped it up, we was just cooling or whatever, but you really didn't gain anything from that. So you're wasting your breath. Like, don't speak empty words. We're wasting a lot of energy speaking empty words to people. If it's not something quality, and there's a time and place for everything, but if there's no quality conversation being had, what are we really talking about? Because why are you using your breath, and why are you wasting your energy on something that you know is not going to benefit you in the future? That's just me. So if you're expressing time, expressing through quality time, then that time is focused through then that time is focused through in uninterrupted conversation. It's all about, okay, cool. What I gotta say, what needs to be said. I'm focused in on what's going on right now. I'm not in somewhere else. My conversation is here. I'm locked in. Whatever you're saying, like, I'm listening. And it's not badgering, it's not condescending. It's actually like you guys having a conversation and you listening with the intent to understand and not the intent to respond. Like, a lot of times we just get into these debates, or we just get into these, like, altercations, or these back and forths, like, because our opinions are so strong on something, when really, like, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. Like, there's often more than one way to get to the promised land. It's just off of your preference and off of what you believe in. It's not just one way to do everything. Like, there's always multiple ways to do different things. There's multiple ways to grocery shop. Hence Amazon. Like, hence Target. Like, ordering online. Like, just, there's a lot of different things that go into all that. So it's just about allowing each other to understand one another. Like, and somebody's not getting what you're putting down, allowing them to process what you're saying and to ask questions, and not being like, oh, forget it. All because you don't want to do the work in elaborating and explaining. So therefore you want to complain about somebody not understanding you, but you're also you're not there to give clarity. And man, if you ain't watched the first like 6 episodes of the podcast, you lost and you playing yourself, because we talked about all of this early on in the podcast. Just giving clarity and allowing people to bring clarity to you, and understanding that that other person sharing their heart, sharing their desires, sharing their needs, whatever it is, it doesn't always require your advice or your input on something unless warranted. We have to understand, like, people don't vent all the time just to be like, okay, tell me what I should do. Some people are just venting. And so, like I said before, again, stop dumping in the episode. It's about, so are you venting, or are you just wanna you just want to get it off real quick. Like, you want advice or you want me to listen? I can do both. Like, and being versatile in that, like, knowing, like, okay, cool, like, and knowing that if they say no, I don't want advice, not being like, like trying to allude to, like, I got something to say, but like just still listening with intent and still being locked in that moment and not allowing other things become like, oh, she don't want my advice. All right, cool. I'm gonna be over here on my phone, or I'm gonna be over here like cleaning up, doing something. Nah, cut it out. Get that person your undivided attention so they still get that affirmation. It's not about you. If that's their primary, it's not about you. It's about loving them the way that they need to be loved at the end of the day. And then just knowing that futuristically you have a foundation, you have memories. Like, you're able to go back and tell your kids, like, yeah, I remember, like, man, I ain't want to play no tennis, but your pops he loves tennis, so we went out there, we played tennis, and you know what I'm saying, I learned a lot. I got my butt beat, but it was cool. Like, I remember we used to play tennis, like, you just allowing those memories to be created is a different type of feeling, and it gives you something to look back on and to hold on to. Like, yeah, like, I remember that. Like, creating those memories with people is just a deeper level of intimacy, because you can't get that time back. So it's like, yeah, that time on spring break where I could have just been at home chilling. No, we went on a trip, or we went bowling, or we did something different every single day. Like, but you were able to recount all that and just to know, like, that time wasn't wasted, or that was something that I will always cherish. You giving yourself that opportunity through giving that person your undivided attention is everything. And so, like I said, it is a relationship thing. You knowing that it's going to evolve and that your relationship is going to reach a new level at each mark, and it's imperative that you allow yourself to understand each phase of the relationship, and to know that through quality time is where, if that's your primary or if that's their primary, is where we're going to take that next level. At your primary, with someone speaking your primary, you speaking their primary, that is when you will peak. You speak at someone else, you will get the best out of somebody else when they feel loved the way that they need to be loved. If you're loving them through your love language, you're not going to get the maximum capacity, and they're not going to even blow through the roof of the potential that they have, because you're loving them through the love language that you want to love them through, not through the love language that they need to be loved through. So at the end of the day, man, when it comes to quality time, it's the undivided attention. It's knowing the why and not the what, or loving, like, just agreeing on the why and not the what, and really just committing to explore your partner. That's really what it is. You, through quality time, you can't duck it. You can't. Because what y'all gonna do, just sit there and stare at each other? No. Like, it's a relationship, so you're gonna continue to have to build, to put the work in, to sacrifice, and at the end, it manifests into something beautiful. You have a healthy relationship with somebody you can come and talk to about anything, or that you can come and be around, and y'all can do anything simply because of the foundation that you've set. So, yeah, man, that's really all I have. Like, quality time for me was pretty straightforward, and if it's not my primary, it's definitely my secondary. So, definitely super passionate about that. But, man, y'all go ahead and like this for me. I'm about to get like all the other YouTube. Y'all like this for me. Y'all subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You can follow me at Mike the Young OG on Instagram. That's 2 E's and the. You can follow the podcast at RAPORCAP podcast. If you're following on Twitter, remove the T and add the 1. And man, y'all tell me if I'm rapping or capping.